Last year, I decided to change my life and go all in on YouTube. And pretty quickly, I started to notice this pattern. It kept coming up over and over again. And the thing is, it kept happening in a certain order. And when I saw that pattern, when I saw that certain order, the whole uncertainty kind of went away. I stopped doubting every step. I stopped questioning, YouTube is the right thing, whether should I do something else, whether, whatever frameworks I'm using, whatever niche I am in was the right thing or not. That kind of went away. And to be honest, if I didn't see the pattern, I probably have convinced myself by now that, actually this isn't the right thing. Let me try something else. And probably, that thing probably wasn't the right thing either. So let me try something else. And by now I would have been lost how I was a couple years ago. And this video is just me laying out that pattern for you. What tends to happen when you finally decide to change your life? Stage one, the idea that keeps coming back. Before anything else, there's just an idea, not a plan, not confidence. It's just an idea back of your head, just something that won't leave you alone. And for me, it was YouTube, and not for a little bit, but actually to take it seriously. Every time you try to ignore it, it comes back. You come back to that same thought. Oh, maybe I should start. Maybe I should actually do it. Maybe I should. Week goes by, then the thought comes back. The more you wait, the more the thought bothers you. And that's how it usually starts. Not with clarity, but rather just repetition. Now we go to the stage two, which is the confirmation. Then someday you will be, out and about, and something will confirm that. Something will confirm your idea. Not in a magical way. Not, you're just sitting there and boom, oh yeah, let's do it. No. It will be very real. Just enough for you to stop dismissing that idea every time it comes back. For me, it was, my cousins and my friends and people telling me, you should actually talk about these things. You should actually, become this, and you should do this, and you should do that. And I've always been coming back to YouTube. I always love YouTube. And I realized here, consistency matters more than talent. And once you commit, you understand how clear you feel now. And the thing is, it's not dramatic at all. Just for you to believe in yourself, what, maybe this is nice. Maybe this isn't random. And that's when your idea turns into a decision. And that takes me to stage number three, the attachment. And in the start, it feels good. You feel focused, you're sharp, you're alive, you're excited to get this thing. You finally found your thing. You start to daydream, you start to imagine where you could go, the amount of money you could make in the future, the amount of things you would have, the materialistic things. It's all very exciting. And this part matters because it kind of pulls you more into that thing. It gets you deep down. But that phase doesn't last. And it's not the reward. And that now takes me to stage number four, the sacrifice. This is the point where you have to give up something. Not because you failed, not because, something crazy, but because you chose this thing. Maybe that's you giving up your comfort. That's you giving up your sleep. You giving up the predictability. Maybe that's you giving up the safer identity. For me, it was showing up when nothing really mattered. Showing up when it didn't really make sense. For me, it was investing all this money into this when I didn't needed it. Working without any feedback. Choosing long-term over short-term relief. And that's when the path really gets real. Because now it costs something. And that takes me to the stage number five, the humbling work. Now doing the work feels smaller than the vision. You keep doing the same thing over and over again. The repetitiveness of your work. Everything kind of gets quiet. Everything kind of gets unimpressive. There's no, million views. There's no going viral right now. It's just you honing in your skills. The progress is slow. From outside, people kind of see it like, what is he doing? It feels like a step down. It feels like you've gone backwards. This part isn't really about about growth anyways. It's about stripping my ego. It's about removing the fake reality I thought I was living in. The ego of me had to go away. And that kind of takes me to stage number 6, the comfortable exit. At this point, I haven't reached yet. It's similar for almost everyone. A video will go viral. You'll start to get views. Something will pop. You'll get a first client. You'll start to, find the first success. Now you feel rich. Now you feel like you made it. Now you're comfortable. Things have stabilized. Now you could stop pushing. You could be, you could stay here. You could settle here. And most people choose that. Most people do settle here. Most people do choose that weird middle where everything kind of feels like, stabilized. Okay, fine. We'll stay here. Not because you feel, but because it feels reasonable. Like, why wouldn't you? And this is the most dangerous moment when you choose that settling. If you choose that, the restlessness would come back. And then goes to stage number 7, the restlessness. The discomfort will come back. Everything looks fine, but something inside of you, like, something isn't there. Something feels unfinished. This is where people either listen to that voice or kind of silence it or push it away with comfort. And ignoring this is how you end up being mediocre. You do fine, but you kind of feel empty. And that takes me to stage number 8, the long, quiet stretch. This is longer than the humbleness you got from the work before, a couple stages before. Here, you're on your own for a while. There's no reassurance. There's no signs. Here, it's just work, longer than you have ever done. You may even regret, maybe I should have settled. Maybe this is the wrong path. But this is also where your confidence in your own self becomes real. And that takes me to the stage number 9, the return. The funny part here is that you don't end up somewhere else. You don't end up, being someone you never thought you will be, but rather you become yourself, the person you always were. You arrive at the same person, just without the fear, without the ego, without the will you make it, will this happen, will this end up fine, without all that fear. The things you thought you were chasing were never external. The path didn't give you a thing. It gave you the position to handle it. What changed everything for me was not certainty about the outcome, was not about, will I make it? Yeah, of course I will. Oh yeah, of course I will. It wasn't that. It was certainty about the process. Okay, the path is good. It was certainty about whatever I'm doing, whatever plan I have, it's a correct one. Let me stick to that. And once you recognize that plan, once you recognize that map, that pattern itself, you stop to panic, you stop to second guess everything, you stop restarting every time you get uncomfortable. You just keep going and you just keep doing. And this is my comeback, and this can be yours too. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.